Hi guys, it's Kales, and I am coming at you with my January wrap-up, as it is February now, and I should probably tell you about the books that I read in January. That seems to make sense, right? I read a total of 3 books this month. 3. Read them and weep. Regardless, the books that I did read, even though it was so few, all of them were so good. And that to me is an awesome reading month, regardless of the fact that I can count how many books I read on one hand. The first grade book that I read was Snow Like Ashes by Sarah Rash. I can never pronounce her name, and the double A's screw me up. This is an excellent start to a series about a young girl named Mara who lives in a medieval-like world with 8 different kingdoms split up into seasons and rhythms, and she's part of the Winter Kingdom trying to reclaim their kingdom. She's best friends with the to-be king trying to reclaim his throne against the evil Spring, and it's so good. What I loved about this book was that I couldn't predict where it was going. I'm really good at like getting plot lines and like figuring out how the story would go, but this book surprised me turn after turn, and I was like, what? I have no idea where this is going. I did picture some things, but at the same time, I still loved it enough to be surprised. And also, it had a love triangle that didn't bother me, which I think is a first. Honestly, I couldn't pick a side. I also liked Mara's struggle between being a lady and being a warrior, and I found that very fascinating. And I think as the series goes on, it gets better. Speaking of the series going on, the second book that I read was Ice Like Fire, which is the second book in this series. I don't want to tell you too much about it because it is a major spoiler for if you haven't read the first one. So lo and behold, just read this series. It's so good. Jordan from the Jordan Journals recommended it to me, and I loved every second of it. And it was so good and shocking, and again, just very twists and turns and interesting world building, and I really can't wait to see where the third one goes. The last book that I read this month was Illuminae by Jay Kristoff and Amy Knopfman. I think that's right, something like that. Guys, this book I read in like a couple of days, and I read probably the majority of it, like 500 pages of it in a single day. I couldn't put it down. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars because it was so unique. It's told in hacker files, and so it's like IM chats and maps of ships, and I will say it is slightly confusing to kind of get the hang of this style, but once you do, you blaze right through it, and it's awesome. It's so good, and it tells the story of these planets that people live on, and there's an illegal colony that gets attacked by this tech company. The people of that colony have to retreat to a fleet of spaceships and are trying to run away from them, and the day of the attack is the day that Katie and Ezra break up, and how their relationship goes and how the survival story happens. I will say that this book is kind of scary, and I just say that for the faint of heart, kind of like me, who's not big on like scary books. I did not expect this to turn into what it turned into, so I will just warn you, if you are faint of heart, it is a little scary. Like a lot of scary and very intense. Yet, it's excellent, and it's really worth your time if you can, you know, sucker up and get through it. I did, so that's okay. I really loved this book, and I can't wait to own my own copy. I've had such a book hangover from it. Like, I haven't been able to read anything else, and it's so good. Anyway, so those were the 3 books that I read in January. I would love to hear what you guys think of those books. Leave them down in the comments below. I have no idea what I'm going to read for this month because I've been in the middle of planning the new book battles, which there will be a video up soon about that. That being said, until next time, guys, bye! I think they're Jupiter's moons. I could be way wrong.